No break, by the way. We're going straight into it, which is always what I like to see. No break in the action. So the maps are the same if you're tuning in late as our first best of 3 that we had, our first 1v1. Shakuras, Polyploid, and Circuit Breakers. FlaSh has selected Terran, as you could see in game, so he's not going to be playing random. He wants to play the TVZ out straight up.
All right, well, here we go. Yeah, we were talking, is FlaSh gonna random here, but maybe if he wins game 1, he might random in set number 2. Who knows?
He wants that 2 mil.
That's probably why. I don't want to risk it. I'm gonna play my Terran. But here we go. This is gonna be interesting. We do have the vertical spawns here. TVZ always interesting to see. I hope it goes to a long game because we haven't gotten a single long game yet.
At this level of TVZ, you know, besides a proxy or a quick bunker push, it usually goes longer than our second game by default. Our second map, remember the PvP, our second map, it usually goes longer than that. You don't usually see games that end that quickly in this matchup just because both races play at the highest level have so many ways to survive, buy time, trade in the middle of the map, you know, deal with mutas, etc. There's never like a moment where at this level someone like is like, oh, I was in the middle of the map and I didn't build turrets. Like it's not like your ladder games where like some dude comes in with mutas and you're like, oh, I hate Zerg.
Exactly. So, you know, stuff like that is going to happen. We'll see if anything interesting is going to happen. From what we've seen in the first series with Stork versus Best, seems like they're going to play the safe bet in game number 1 at least. So we're not going to see any cheeses or proxies coming from either side. TVZ is going to be a little bit slow in the beginning, I hope. Like, I'm saying what I'm hoping, because I want to see a long game. I don't want to see any, you know, rushes going through and, you know, somebody just making a mistake with their micro and, like, losing unit where they, you know, don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty safe opening for both players. No CC first. It's not FlaSh from 2007, so he's going to actually build a barracks first. And on the other side of things for Queen, spawning pool first into hatch. Just your standard safe. It's not going to be, you know, FlaSh doesn't have 2 barracks in the middle of the map, like, you know, nothing like that.
Yeah, or send the SCV build a cheese factory in their base and like just get vultures in.
It is a very fast spawning pool. I think it was a 9 pool or a 10 pool, so the Lings are out very early. FlaSh is going to see this because of the no Overlord Scout. He sees the Lings now. He's on a second SCV. So he should be preparing with a bunker and an SCV wall. Block. Or it's not in a bunker. This is in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, SCV block on the ramps with one Marine should do it. But he's gonna just keep pulling on.
He'll have a second Marine and a third one there soon. The Lings will have to target the SCVs individually if they want to really try to break this, because the SCVs will be on stop position. But because he saw it, like I think if you don't see this, then you might die, or you'll at least lose a lot of SCVs. They have 60 health, so like you probably wouldn't just die to the Lings. But in any case, if you don't see it, you're in trouble. But because no one's going to just blind put their SCVs there and lose mining. But he saw it with a second SCV. He's fine.
It would have been interesting for FlaSh not to see the Lings and, you know, see him kind of have a slow start per se with losing a couple SCVs, microing them with the Marines to get rid of the Lings. Like obviously those 6 Ling rush is not gonna kill FlaSh, especially when you're Terran. But you know, like allowing a Terran a slow start, especially on a TVZ, like it's more interesting to see because now with nothing going for Queen here, he literally got nothing out of the 6 Lings that he's just gonna scout with it now. Yeah,
well, I mean the Lings will, you know, push this SCV around. It's actually kind of funny and ironic that with the slower build, FlaSh actually gets the full scout, but that's just how Lings work without speed. The one thing I will say that I feel Queen does get is he forces the command center to be built on the high ground. It's a small thing, but the command center is built on the high ground, and he's gonna have to float it. So. Slows things down a little bit. Academy's already on the way. But Queen is, you know, as soon as he sees the SCVs are blocking the ramp and he can't do anything, he doesn't waste his Lings, doesn't force the break. He rushes out the spire quickly afterwards. He started his lair pretty early. after the, seeing that SCV wall almost immediately. He was mining gas, so he's got speed now. Let's see if he can
get a couple, but I don't think
he gets one. The fact, actually, he almost got two. Like the fact that he even got one is kind of like it's pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
He's gonna trade. That was actually pretty good for him, I'd say.
Yeah, it was better than nothing. But now Spire's going up, and I don't think FlaSh has any idea whether he's going like Hydra Lurkers or Spire.
Yeah, he just saw the lair. He does know there's no Lurkers yet because obviously there was no hydrogen when he's scouted. You can rush that out before lair. But at this point he's probably expecting a big drone, like a big drone set here, like trying to build a bunch of drones for Queen. So he's going to push across the map right now and force some things out. Nice surround here. The sunken finishes just in time, so this actually gets pushed back pretty easily. The Academy just finished just a few moments ago, so he doesn't have stim yet.
Nope.
You can see it's researching with the flashing lights there.
There we go. The timing for the engineering bay is perfect for the mutas. If Best decides to go right away, which he probably won't, FlaSh is going to have a couple turrets ready, and the medics are on their way here. And now, FlaSh is going to want to pressure a little bit, but now, with the sunkens being built in the front of the base, he's not going to be able to do so with just a couple medics and the Marines.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the mutas coming out from Queen.
He's going to have, he is going right away. The turrets should be done. It's almost finished now. Here, the one just underneath the gas. Actually scans just to verify Spire for sure, which he was. I mean, you kind of assume when you see no hydrogen, like you said before, you can't know for sure. But he reasonably expected that he had turrets up line to be safe, which are good against lurkers too, obviously. He even has the third one here in the mineral line.
Here we go.
Some isolated Marines. This is just Terran's nightmare.
Yep. We have the patrol control, obviously, coming in with the mutas. We'll see how many SCVs can bring the show us. There we go. Yeah, he's gonna be picking off a couple SCVs and a couple Marines as well. And this is where it really becomes important for the Zerg, especially because he has to constantly bother the Terran player here to spread his units instead, so he can't do like a counter rush or to get or try to kind of pressure his expansions. Where there's a saying where if it's a TVZ, when Terran has one expansion, Zerg is going to need 1+ expansion to beat a Terran player in mid to late game. Right now it's still early game, I guess I want to say, but like you see, Best is getting not Best, Queen is getting his third expansion here as he is pressuring FlaSh. So this is going Best Queen's way.
Yeah, Queen's in a little bit of trouble with these mutas though. Looks like he only loses 2. He really wants that turret. I don't know if he lost a third muta there. He lost 2 before. Yeah, he lost a third one. So losing 3 mutas.
Oh no,
bad rally.
The wrong way.
Okay, he saves them at least. This is actually a really opportune moment for FlaSh to push across the map.
But this one was actually pretty bad for FlaSh, losing I think like 5 to 6 Marines here.
Let's see what the Marines can do if they.
This is bothering me.
He's gonna group them together.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what FlaSh can get done once he groups the rest of the Marines together, because the mutas obviously want to, at these positions, because you're close vertically, he wants to be able to slow this push down and maybe catch some stray Marines as they're trying to link up. But like, eventually the punch will hit the face, right? Yeah. And he's gonna go, looks like, straight for the third base here.
All right, so the 11 muta stack is going into FlaSh's main base.
No repair.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah, no repair. So this is actually disastrous. Yeah.
You can see FlaSh trying to. He tried to go for that counter push at his third expansion. He did keep a couple Marines there, but his bases.
He's not only losing SCVs, but he's losing a decent amount of Marines here as well, because this is, like you said, it was a full stack. Yeah. So he is able to just one-shot Marines, and obviously SCV is with it. And he still hasn't even cleared this off yet. He's sent half of his attacking force back, and he's not going to die to this, obviously, but he's taken quite a significant amount of damage, and killing the hatchery alone, I don't know if that's worth it, right? Yeah. It wasn't even a mining hatchery. I'd say we're still at a fairly even game, but I think Queen is pretty happy to trade a lot of SCVs for a hatchery he wasn't mining from just yet. That was fairly early.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. But like I said, Queen is definitely going to want to or needs to keep the pressure on and get a third hatchery and get it mining, especially for gas as well. So yes, the third one going down without having any drones there wasn't a huge hit, but he needs to start getting a third one that starts to mine, because now if FlaSh starts to build up, it's going to hurt him badly in the late game.
Yeah. He's killing some turrets here, so that means that he can continue to pick off Marines. To be Johnny on the spot with that micro though, and does end up getting losing a few more mutas, but the trade here is pretty good, because he's, you know, a lot of the time you think a mutalist harass is just killing SCVs, but actually killing Marines keeps the Marine count low so that he doesn't die to a follow push, and I think he's starting to make some real traction here. Like this is looking pretty terrible for FlaSh. He's lost so much, he's had to make so many turrets.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that the mutas are +1 attack upgraded. Marines are upgraded as well, but the stacked mutas with the upgrade, with the bouncing hits, is going to hurt a lot more. A nice scan though.
Yeah, that was a good scan. He's starting to feel desperate. He's bringing the rest of the Marines back right now.
Yep, you can see that Queen is going to all in with this. He's going to just try to finish the game with the constant mutas popping up. He's not even trying to go for a third attack.
Yeah, look at the lings coming out. You can see coming from his natural. Like they just got rallied to his natural. I think you're 100% right. He's not going to make a lurker transition. Ooh, definitely looking away for a second there, I think, but
he has to get rid of all these Marines before the 5 Marines at the top group up, and they're finally here.
The lings that we were talking about in the Fallout push, it looks like he is a little bit slow to send them across the map. You can see them on the minimap now. I don't know if this is going to be enough to end the game. I think he actually has to expand. He can kind of contain FlaSh here.
No, like
there's
yes
a bunker.
And no. Yes and no, but if you see FlaSh's minerals, like he's literally just busy popping out SCVs and Marines to defend. So it's like he can't get any, you know, upgraded things. He can't get a Goliath out. He can't get any vultures or tanks out right now. So like Queen all-inning with the Zerglings is forcing FlaSh to just all in with SCVs and Marine medic here. So it's like, as long as Queen doesn't make a stupid mistake and go AFK and like let all the mutas die, I think this will continue on for a little more.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not going to end right now. But yeah, FlaSh is in a really dire spot. Queen's not going to be able to end the game right now, but he's going to continue to contain FlaSh, continue to pick off these Marines, SCVs as much as he can.
This one was a little bit of a risk and get those 2 mutas out, but I think that one just died.
Yeah, both of them. But he's still getting damage done, you know, like he one lapse of looking elsewhere, like focusing on his micro here, cost him 2 mutas, but he's still winning these exchanges, I'd say. It sucks to lose 2 mutas, and it is going to hurt, but he'll be all right. He's got Sunkens at home too, so a counter push, which is, as you said, kind of FlaSh's best option at this point. You know, it's going to be hard for him to end the game with it.
Well, I think, yeah, you're correct.
He can hit the third, right?
Yeah.
That's what he can get before lurkers are ready. He can, you know, try to deny this third base, and I think he's gotten here just in time to do it.
Definitely, he has no defense. He has nothing to defend against it. He has some damaged mutas and a couple lings, but that's not going to do the job.
He has +1 armor now too on his Marines.
Yeah, so
he gets the third. He splits his Marines again. And, you know, like, mutas here still doing damage, but now we're getting to the point where he keeps losing his third, Queen does.
Yeah.
So he has to make a choice. Does he tech to lurkers, or does he just kind of keep ling muta until he can get a third? Because FlaSh's army is getting more and more efficient all the time. I think he will need those lurkers, or eventually, even though he's done damage, FlaSh's army just becomes too big, and he can just kill him. So I'd love to see a shot of the base to see if lurker prep has been done, and yeah, it is. You can see he's researching that now and getting a hive. He is in desperate need of some AoE damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Queen definitely had the upper hand at the beginning. Obviously, FlaSh made the right choice to keep 5 Marines for the to get rid of the third base that Queen was going for and got rid of that. that was a big decision making there by FlaSh, and I think that's the reason why, even though Queen had the upper hand in the early game with the mutas, getting rid of a lot of Marines and SCVs, but now, like you were saying, FlaSh is stacking up on Marines, getting the upgrades done, and now the tables have turned.
Yeah, this is the scary part, right? If he doesn't have lurkers ready, he might just lose the game right here because he did a lot of echo damage.
Yep.
And he does not have lurkers ready. Like, he didn't kill enough of the army.
Yeah, this is.
I think those are just regular eggs too. I don't think those are lurker eggs hatching at the hatchery. So there's just too much damage output here. This is actually a really sad way for Queen. You know, if you're a Queen fan, to watch him lose here because he had such a great set of harassment. But it just goes to show, you build a big enough Terran army, if there are no lurkers, you will end up dying to what's one of the most cost-efficient armies in the game. You need AoE to deal with Marine Medic.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, remember what I said? I was a Zerg player. I switched to Protoss. This is exactly why, right? Like, I was a big Muta fan, so like I understand, like, oh yeah, you know, get the Overlord, or you know, group it with the larva and get that full stack with the patrol control. Get the miners, get the workers, get the Marines. You can only go you can only last so long, right, with that, and you just saw that happen in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people might say what went wrong was spending too much gas on mutas, not transitioning to the Hydras quickly enough. But I think another option might have been just trying to get a little bit more information about where FlaSh was going to move across to deny the third, because he sent small groups of units, obviously, to deny. Like, he sent the big army, then split it, right?
Yeah.
To defend, and that's always the ping pong game you have to play with Zerg. Okay, he's killing my third base. Can I stop him with my units? Like, maybe not directly, so I have to go harass him, try to bring him back. But when he'd sent half of his units back, or even sometimes 3/4 of his units back, I feel like those are the moments where Queen needed to stop the Marines from killing the third, or try to set up defense there. It's really hard to deal with a Terran push that keeps coming across the map nonstop. If it was cross spawns, might have been an easier game for Queen, but doesn't happen. He transitioned to lurkers a little bit too slowly, and he just dies to the follow-up push there. FlaSh didn't have science vessels or anything like that. He would have had to scan to push through. It would have been a lot harder for him to end the game.
Agreed. And also, one little thing I want to point out. I know these players are legends, but they're not AlphaGos. They're not perfect AIs, right? So, like, what I want to point out is Queen, you saw him rally his mutas, and I'm pretty sure at least 4 to 5 rallied mutas literally died doing nothing, like staying there by himself. So like those small mistakes, I think if he had those small mistakes kind of covered up and not let the mutas, expensive mutas, die to the Marines, I think maybe, possibly, with the slightest chance, he could have had, or just that game number 1 could have gone a little bit longer.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if he didn't lose all those stray mutas like you were talking about, we are going to have the same exact spawn verticals here. FlaSh obviously on top this time, but same vertical spawns on this map. But yeah, if you save all those mutas and you actually end up, you know, in a position where you have that extra gas, like those extra mutas don't mean he just like breaks FlaSh's neck and wins the game. But maybe he gets lurkers a little bit faster because he didn't have to replace them with more gas, right? And things can change. So yeah, I do agree. And you know, FlaSh didn't have absolutely perfect moments either. His first response to the mutas was a little bit slow. He didn't repair the turret, so ended up losing a lot of SCVs, a lot of mining time. It was a very back and forth game, and just goes to show StarCraft is hard. These are the 2 best players in the world, most would argue.
Yeah. Definitely. And you know, you mentioned cost efficient, right, with Marine medics, like upgraded attack and defense. So it's like when that starts to happen and you're still going all in with the 2 hatchery mutalings, right? And then eventually, after losing his third twice, he ended up making a 3rd hatchery in his base. But like when that happens and you basically all in mutalings in the beginning as a Zerg player against a Terran, like, yeah, you're gonna get rid of a lot of turrets, SCVs, and Marines, but unless you literally just get a command center down, right? Like you force something drastic to happen for a Terran, like you're not gonna win. So like you were talking about, a transition into the Hydras, into the Lurkers, well, it's a little bit late, even though Queen did have the upper hand in the early game. So we'll see if Queen decides to switch things up here in game number 2, because if FlaSh gets this win, it is over.
Yep.
This whole series is over.
The whole night of StarCraft is over.
Yeah. That's way too fast for me.
He actually tries to force his way in here. Really, really, really nice micro by Queen. trading the drone because the SCV will beat the drone 1v1.
Yep.
And if you mess it up, like the SCV could potentially like kill 2, depending on how it happens. I mean, not by himself, but like he leaves, kills 1, then comes back with another one, whatever. Those things can happen, but he's not going to beat 2. But the way he did it there was he perfectly traded so that the SCV couldn't scout.
Yep.
Doesn't lose the 1v1, gets replaced. Drones will regen health, but not quickly enough to stop that because SCVs have 60 health, so really well done.
Definitely well done. And obviously, not being able to scout, he's not going to know if he's going to go for that, fast pull into the second hatchery, or he's just going to go straight 3 hatchery into the pool. So like, he has no information. So now FlaSh is kind of curious. He can't do it.
Yeah, it's killing the 2 drones. What I was really talking about, he is the Marine that comes, right?
There we go.
And he will break through this time. And that second drone, as bruised earlier, is regened a little bit, but he's got lings out. But regardless, FlaSh does get to see the macro hatch here in the main base.
There we go.
He's trying to look for that weakened drone. You see?
Yep.
You can get 2 if you find him. He only gets 1 in this case, but
good call.
Could have gotten 2. SCV 1 kill. Did he actually get both? I don't think so. I think he only got 1.
Yeah, I think the SCV got 1. The Marine got killed off right away, and yes, a full scout into Queen's base. But, that scout is just going to give him so much information because you guys saw FlaSh went for that early double CC right there. So this is going to be really, really hard for Queen at the start because that third hatchery that he got in his base, right? It could have been a 3rd expansion instead. We see a lot of that. But he had no information about the super fast. Well, actually, no, he did have Overlord there. So that's why he got his
yes, exactly. He had the Overlord because he has vertical spawns. He scouted vertically, didn't scout horizontally. So he sees that, and this is why FlaSh is like, yep, I got to push this away. But what sometimes you see when you see a fast 3rd and you see the macro hatch like this is a Hydra bust.
Yeah.
He might, I mean, he's making a lair right now, so I don't think it's going to be a hyper-aggressive Hydra bust, but we'll see. Still no den. So looks like it is going to be that spire transition. Yep. Both options are viable at these spawning locations. Hydras can cross the distance by ground pretty quickly at vertical spawns, but looks like he wants to go more standard.
Yeah.
Lairs coming up, mutas can cross that air distance even faster, just like we saw in the previous game.
So yeah, we're gonna definitely be expecting mutas into the Hydras, into probably the Defilers if you even get to that point, but for now, we're going to see the Spire go up.
There's the Spire, yeah.
But the front, he might need a couple more Sunkens there. Firebat coming out as well.
Yeah, he really wants to be aggressive. The Firebat is like, I am trying to kill you.
Yeah, there we go. The double Sunken.
It should be ready in time. He wanted to grab this medic. Nice attempt, but gets shut down. Feels bad too when you have your lings out here because they're almost never going to make it home. So you got to try to do something. Forces a stim, almost gets a Firebat, but buys time for those Sunkens to finish. FlaSh stimmed, but I don't think he can commit here. He just doesn't have enough information about how many lings are there. If he commits and fails, he dies to the mutas. Like, he just straight up dies.
Exactly, but he's going to commit
He's
here.
going.
With the Firebats going in first to tank a couple of the shots from the Sunkens, and he's going to commit here. He gets a couple drones that come out.
You know what? Like, the Firebats lived for a really long time there. He killed the drones. I think he's pretty happy to just take that trade and go home.
He's definitely going to go home, and he saw the Spire with the scan. I don't know exactly where he scanned. I'm pretty sure in his base, so he saw the Spire. 3-hatch mutas is going to be a little bit more pressuring for FlaSh compared to the double hatch that we saw in game number 1. So we'll see if this will be a game maker for Queen, because he needs this game here.
Yeah. He made, I think, 4 mutas already.
Yep.
Looks like 5 actually. And so there's the 6th one coming out. So this first wave of mutas is no joke. He has the triple turret, the barracks turret, and both CCs set up. Looks like wanted to look for the barracks turret first.
Well, here we go. I want to point out that even though, yes, it is a 3-hatch muta coming out, but also for FlaSh, he had a lot more time to prep for the muta, so it's basically kind of like the same. Like in game number 1, the double hatch fast mutas, and FlaSh obviously was less prepared. In this game number 2, FlaSh definitely a little bit more prepared with the turrets in his expansion as well as the barrier turrets that you saw with the Marine medics being ready with the bunker in his expansion as well. So yeah, it's not going to make a huge difference here.
Yeah, this is a full stack of mutas. You can see the one missing, but that's the Overlord spot for the micro. The other thing that's different in this game, obviously, besides him not taking a third hatch early, as he is checking to make sure there's no Marines. Like he checked first this time, no Marines to block my drone. He's going to go for the bottom left expansion. But also, it's a much faster transition to Lurker Tech and Hive. Queen's Den's already being made right now. Oh, no! Cannot be missing that one, though. Ends up only losing one, but takes a lot of damage.
All right, well.
But yeah, he sees... he sees these Marines. His FlaSh just... I mean, it's pretty common to take that bottom left base, but he's just assuming that it's there.
Well, we did hear a scan. I'm curious. I was about to point out.
Yeah.
Did he scan 7 o'clock just by random? Just like thinking, all right, he's gonna get a third, but he's not gonna go 6 o'clock. He's gonna try to kind of, keep it far away, to split my units, and maybe he did scan 7 o'clock.
He may have. Either way, his intuition, as thousands of pro games he's played, like is good enough for him to know, like, this is a timing for this. It's normal to take a main base on a 4-player map. He's just gonna send this small group over here. Overlord sees it. He has to either. Like, Lurkers can morph and buy a lot of time. If he morphs one egg here on the ramp, it's basically like unlimited time. So he's going to wait until the last second. He's a morph.
There we go. Cancel. One more.
Okay, you might want to make sure it was a full block because the egg has like, I mean, you could see it basically
it's 1 damage.
It's 4, yeah, it's 1, the armor just forces 1 damage per shot. I was like struggling to figure out how to say that. Thank you. It should buy enough time for these 2 Lurkers, but they're not going to be on top of the ramp. Like, I think he actually gets through this. Oh, it's going to be close.
Right in the...
Yeah, he gets through the ramp.
Yeah, he does get through, but the mutas are...
There's mutas.
It's still going to be good enough with the 6-stack mutas, I assume.
He's got more Marines coming. He's got Lings coming up. This is still going to be a close fight. There's actually almost too many medics here.
Yeah, but it's okay. We got it. The muta stacks...
Yeah, he's got to defend.
Will defend, but once again, this is just FlaSh pressuring, right? He has a science facility up already. We're gonna see some vessels coming out, going Defiler right away. Like I said, like finally we get to see some, Defiler action as well. We're gonna see some swarms and plays.
Yeah, this is actually a much better game than the first one, I feel. And we're kind of getting towards that mid game now, like completely. Instead of it felt like we were just trapped in early game last game.
The reason, for any of you guys joining a little bit late, our first series was super quick, right? Our first game of this first series was super quick as well. So we're wanting for that long, interesting game, and finally it seems like we're gonna get some.
Yeah, FlaSh sending that second group of Marines to the bottom left was a bit puzzling to me because...
Correct. I saw you look at me.
Because he had I gave you the look of I'm not sure about that one. Because he had the Lurkers there already. And 2 Lurkers on top of a ramp can kill 20,000 Marines. We'll have to micro this irradiate. Ooh, mismicros it. It's okay.
Oh, well, there's a second one.
But he had the Lurkers there already, and with a larger force of Marines, he didn't break it. With a smaller one, it was a little bit weird that he went for that. He ended up losing a chunk, which means now that this much larger force that he's moving towards the natural with is missing some key Marines, right? And he needs to be careful. The vessel's that far forward because Scourge are out there.
I think they missed it. Scourge is at 3 o'clock right now, so he's not there yet. He's gonna bring it in now from the back. We'll see if the Scourges will get the science facility. We'll see what he's going to get right now. But as this is happening, FlaSh is getting his 3rd expo here.
Yeah, this is a lot of pressure for that 3rd base. It's really good that you pointed that out because this is not, barring a huge mistake or something crazy happening, this is not a push to end the game, but it is a push to give him space to make that 3rd base. And he now looks like with the science vessel count that he's got, he wants to hit these Lurkers that are stacked on top of the ramp to irradiate so he can finally break that ramp.
Well, like you were saying, FlaSh is just literally just getting control over the maps. He wants terrain control, obviously, as Terran. He doesn't want anything sneaky happening, especially with the sneaky expos that Zergs usually like doing. And now he doesn't know. There's only 3 Lurkers stacked here. The Defilers come out.
I don't know about that Dark Swarm, but
just did it.
I mean, it's not.
Just for the heck of it. And wow, 4th Expo coming in from FlaSh, and Nidus Canal is made as well. But I will point out that 3 Expos for Zerg against a 4 Expo Terran is not gonna end well for the Zerg.
Yeah, Darkstorm's not gonna protect you against Irradiate.
No.
He has like more vessels than there are Scourge. Like it almost looked like FlaSh considered irradiating a Scourge. You know what I mean? It's like
it's like you want to come to my size vessel? I'm gonna just irradiate your Scourge.
No, I mean that's the point we're at right now, where there's just there's FlaSh can play so forward with these vessels because there's only 4 Scourge here. Yeah. And so it's a pretty nice position for him.
Yeah.
Like that hatchery feels like a pipe dream on the low ground there. I mean, he just has so many units, and he's just irradiating like each individual lurker.
Oh, goodness.
It's buying time though with these dark swarms, and it's gonna force him back.
Yeah, FlaSh definitely has to do this. Like, even though it feels like, what am I doing with just vessels, right? I have a ton of Marines, but obviously, if lurkers, lings, like they start to stack with defilers coming out, like it's not gonna matter how many vessels you have. Like, you're gonna be overtaken by swarms and plagues and just lings under the swarm. So FlaSh is trying to keep the Zerg in check by irradiating all the lurkers that he could find. But we'll see, because like Guy was pointing out, FlaSh having more expos or even equal amount of expansions compared to Queen is going to end up giving FlaSh the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, FlaSh is pumping double vessels. Yeah. Like, that's what the Korean observers are showing right now. It's like, okay, he's got two control towers on his starports, and he has 8 vessels.
Yeah.
Like, that means basically every minute to a minute and a half, like, he can kill a lurker with each vessel. It means like 8 dead lurkers per minute, as long as he's actually using his energy, which he is. And like, he doesn't even get a single vessel here because there's enough Marines to protect. The Scourge count is too low. And even though like he's hanging on here and surviving, FlaSh has such a good position on the map, economy-wise. Now he's got enough fire bats just like, I don't care about the Dark Swarm. This might actually be the beginning of the end, because like he's trying to transition to Ultras.
Yeah, that is definitely...
Like, look at this vessel count. This is actually, I've never even seen this.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before. He did plague it. That's actually the most value of a televised plague ever.
Usage, yeah.
That's a record, I think, for how much damage on one plague.
But either way, what I was kind of wanting to see from FlaSh is he has so many vessels, he could just irradiate his vessels and go into the mining field for Queen and just literally get rid of all of his drones. But
is there a term for that in Korean? We call it eraser. I don't know if that came from Koreans, actually.
Yeah. You can erase.
Yeah, we...
Jiuge.
Erase. Literally erase,
literally erasers.
So, I mean, this is actually... Like, this is almost BM at this point. Is he repairing the vessels over there? Like, he might be. This guy's science facility in the middle of the map. That floating science facility in the middle of the map, I feel like is a symbol of where we are in this game. Like,
exactly. Like, I have control.
This science facility is like, I'm gonna go take care of some Scourge. Okay, he is gonna find this like plagued vessel dump over here and get a few of those. But like,
he's trying to repair it. He does get rid of most of it, but I'm gonna be honest, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
It's not gonna matter.
Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansions for, a total of 6 bases for FlaSh. As a Terran player, this is already...
I mean, what does it mean, like, when, if Mutalisk, like, if you're trying to split Mutalisk against Irradiate, what if each vessel has its own private muta to Irradiate?
He's like, alright, Swarm, I'm still gonna just go in with Marines, I don't care, because I have so much money. Look at FlaSh's head.
Yeah.
You usually don't see FlaSh, or even Queen, get over 1,000 minerals left over.
So does the answer to the kind of hypothetical question that you posited earlier about, like, okay, if FlaSh made the finals versus Queen, would he win? The answer might be, like, depends on how many games of Terran he gets. The first game was very close.
Yeah.
This game, I mean, it's by no means unwinnable because Ultras are out for Queen now. Yeah. But FlaSh has probably got factories going up back at home.
Let's hope so, because now the Ultras, like you pointed out, Ultra Swarm is still going to be, a little bit of a problem coming through for FlaSh.
Yeah, the fact that he has a million, billion, trillion vessels, like, is quite helpful, but...
Yeah, but when this happens, right? Like, you can send your Ultra, and I have 6 bases. I'm going to just macro the crap out of my Marines. and
he's got no lurkers here too, and then like this is, I mean, the DPS of an ultra is quite high, but it's only single target, and this is a numbers game that I don't think Queen comes out ahead on.
Might be a GG coming through.
I think so.
Because you saw the ultra, like the 2-3 ultras that were going up to FlaSh's base got played, so it eventually died at the end of the day, right? Like,
yeah, they got radiated.
Radiated, and then it eventually died. So like it wasn't able to do too much, and like I said, six bases, mass production of marine medics and fire bats is just gonna be enough for a couple of ultras.
Yeah, and there's the factory depot, if you will, the factory section of the map now. FlaSh is like expanding his business into factories now. He's like, I hear factories are the new thing. Factories are quite big. I should probably invest. Late game factories, that's what everybody's buying nowadays. The marine medic industry is dying, so we're gonna have to invest in some late game tech. That one ultra is like actually killing a bunch of Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is looking grim for Queen. I know, like, he definitely did a great job, like, staying. He only has 2 expansions, excluding his main base. Like, a total of 3 bases.
There's the GG
matrix coming through for the show.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of vessels that FlaSh had, he practically could have given each Marine its own defense matrix. FlaSh winked at me too. He was like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That was really quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was quicker than we expected. I mean, we did get to, I don't want to say we went to full late game because FlaSh's factories weren't done, but we got Ultra Tech, which is kind of like the beginning of the end of the mid game. But
Ultra Swarm Plague is basically, right?
Yeah. You know, like that used to be like only late game, but I feel like now like Plague, or Plague and Defilers and Dark Swarm is kind of like still mid game in a game like this. But then, like when the factories start making vultures, that's when it's like it's late game. Let's take a look at our results. Instead of memeing on FlaSh having like 17 science vessels that game. 2-0 for Stork over Best in the Protoss vs. Protoss. Stork massively outplaying Best, especially on Polyploid, having the build order lead on Shakuras, but way outplaying him on that second map. Then FlaSh and Stork winning on fastest map possible in the 2v2 by defending the cannon rush Ling attack. And then our final series of the night, the finals that never was, FlaSh not randoming, playing Terran, and defeating Queen 2-0. First game very close back and forth, Muta harass. A second game though, taking an early lead, taking the whole map, having 2 port vessels, just eventually wore Queen down.
Yeah, definitely. 2 port vessels was huge. I also want to point out, right? 6 expos versus 3 expos, and the 6 was Terran, and the 3 was Zerg. So you get the point, right? Like when you hear that, it's like, oh, why is the game even still going on, right? So yeah, in set number 2 for both round number 1 and round 3, Stork definitely outplayed Best as well as FlaSh outplayed Queen. If you guys joined in a little bit late, you guys can maybe watch the VODs to see how it went down, because as you guys know, all these 4 players are basically legends of Brudia.
Yep. We're gonna have an interview, and Ending and I will try to get this interpreted for you if we can hear it. It's very faint.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet so I don't break your ears now because I just turned your volume up super high.
Yeah. But I actually don't hear anything at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't really hear either.
뭔가 제가 게임할 때보다 너무 발전된
Okay,
것
so
같아요.
we did get word that
그리고 이렇게
we are in Seoul right
부산에서
now.
게임하는 게
and we're supposed to be getting this feed
좋은 추억 쌓고 가는 것 같아요.
for the interview.
좋은
but-
추억이 맞나요?
아,
아까 빨무할 때
네.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can.
의도한 겁니까?
아 의도 안 했는데 제 디스코드
They're asking about the 2v2 in the fastest
그래서 제가
map
채팅
possible.
쳤는데 영훈이가
what happened?
오더가 진짜 안 좋더라고요. 저는 이제 다들 최근 우승자니까 믿고 따랐어요. 영호 본체는 포트러시 하재요.
So what I'm getting is, since Queen was the most recent winner,
그렇죠,
he just
들어가야겠죠?
followed his
근데 이게
calls.
빠른 무한이 원래 저그가 안 좋아가지고 초반에 어떻게든 승부를 봐야 되거든요.
So he wanted to do the,
아니,
the
그렇게
cannon
너무
rush with the Zerg
상황할
kind
줄
of
몰랐어요, 저도.
mass macroing with Zerglings to finish one off to make it 2v1, but it didn't work out. And now Queen on the interview mic saying that, Zerg is actually the worst race on fastest map possible. So that's what happened. So they're both literally right now, FlaSh, not FlaSh, Queen and Best are giving each other excuses of why they lost the fastest map.
반대로 어떤 채팅이 또 오갔는지도 궁금하거든요.
Now the question was, what kind of communications we're going through
그냥 좀
in
편안했고요.
round number 2, FlaSh and Stork on the same team.
각각 역시나 안 벗어나더라고요. 그래서 이 오더가 누군가
FlaSh is saying that he
정동원
expected a
친구들
cannon
하면서도
rush,
굉장히 편안했어요.
and he was like,
이거
we
이겼는데요.
predicted a cannon rush
편안하게 이겼는데.
on whichever, and FlaSh was like, yeah, you know, my prediction was 100% on spot. We were able to defend it off. That's why he told Stork to go mass zealots in the early game to just in case they cannon rush, and it actually worked out.
Not to mention his quick bunker reaction.
영호가 이제 또 빨무를 잘하거든요. 그래서 빌드 같은 거를 이제 오더나 움직임 같은 거 영호가 주고 이제 그냥 뭐 정석대로 했는데 갑자기 캐논 러시 한다고 해가지고 미니맵 보고 화면 보니까 되게
Yeah, so
큰일 났다
what
생각했거든요.
Stork is saying, he allowed FlaSh to kind of call out, you know, the shot calls in game, and when he heard, oh, there might be a possible cannon rush, he was like, okay, I'm gonna go the standard build of just early zealots with like 4 or 5 gateways early on in the fastest map possible. And when he started doing that, he saw the cannon rush, and he was like, okay, I guess it's gonna be an easy win, and he just went through with it, and it definitely wasn't easy.
No.
탈로 원래
It
더
was.
이득을 볼 수 있었는데 오늘 생각보다는 잘 안 됐던 것 같아요. 그래가지고 좀 더 이득을 볼 수
Yeah, it got, like,
있었던
really quiet for me
장면에서
suddenly.
살짝 실수가 있어가지고 이길 수도 있었던 것 같은데 좀 아쉽긴 해요.
We might have lost our feed.
I still have
You
it.
have it?
선수들도 부산에 오랜만에 또
I'll leave it
내려와서
to you.
부산 e스포츠 경기장이 또 세워졌고 이곳에서 경기를 다 해보셨잖아요.
So this is actually a
오늘 선수
stadium
인터뷰를
built
하셨으면서
very
김영호
recently.
선수부터
So this
이곳
event match
경기장에 오신 소감과
is
어떤 것
happening
같아요? 계속
because they're
발전하고
trying to
있는
celebrate this build of this esports arena in Busan. Unfortunately, the pandemic is not going to allow any audiences to be there. You can see all of them having masks on, but yeah, this is definitely an event to celebrate. I'm pretty sure, I'm excited to see more tournaments being held here in this stadium.
Me too.
Yeah, maybe one day in the future we might be able to go there when all the COVID-19 thing goes away.
I hope so, man. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
보고 계신 또
Well, it seems like that is it for the interviews. There were like a couple more questions. I wasn't able to get clear feed for the questions, but I think they would ask about the 1v1s, but I think they you know didn't feel like asking the 1v1s. It might get too personal and stuff like that because it was so one-sided
Sure.
for both maps. So I think they were just sticking with the
Well, I
2v2s.
think the first one was not that one-sided. I mean, yeah, the ending was, but
yeah.
like...
Oh yeah.
And there was some muta mistakes or whatever, but I thought the first one was pretty close. It was of the 4 1v1s we played, I think it was the closest
Oh
one.
yeah. It probably was.
At least on that scale,
Yeah,
like
on
I'll
that
give
scale,
that one
yeah.
the close game, like star, like
Yeah.
stamp, close
Okay.
game on it.
All right, out of the 4, indeed.
Well, I just wanted to say it was a pleasure casting this with you, Ending Life. Didn't end up going the full distance today, but it was really nice. It's very cold here in Seoul.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone got to go down to Busan, have a good time. We cast it here in Seoul, and it's always fun to cast some Brood War. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to everyone at home who tuned in and watched. Thanks to some of you guys who I know are spreading the word about this, trying to get people in here. Do appreciate that. Any final thoughts, Ending, before we close this out?
Well, like you just pointed out, I hoped that it would have gone, at least one of the 1v1s would have gone to all 3 sets to see some late game plays, some micros and macro managements. But unfortunately, we did not get to see too much of that, and all the games ended pretty early, except for the last one, maybe mid game a little bit with the fighters.
Yeah, we were about to just barely touch the late game.
Yeah,
like
we're
the factories were finishing, you know, we were almost there. But yeah, that's gonna do it for myself and Ending Life. Thank you guys so much for watching our 10th 10 here with our Brood War players. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay, well, we will see you guys next time, but until the Korean side ends, I think they want us to be talking a little bit more about the game. So, yeah, to be honest, it was fun, but now we get the word that we actually have.
It's an old school Korean broadcast, guys. Always going to follow the Korean feed. Again, thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
Hope we have more of these and hope to see you
Oh,
guys in the next Brood War show match. See you then.